Good start. Hello and welcome to the final silver lining of this year, 2021. I'm your host, Uncle Silver, a.k.a. Silver Greg, a.k.a. Greg, whatever you're comfortable calling me, and welcome to you, my co-host, the chat. Always a fantastic time having everybody here to discuss. Today, I think we're going to be discussing the dumpster fire that was 2021 on the heels of the dumpster fire that was 2020. God, I'm so tired, man. I'm just exhausted with all of this. But we'll also talk about some wins. I feel like there were some decent wins this year. So hopefully we can, share some of that stuff and spend the next 2 hours just, I don't know, maybe some good will come of, maybe it's cathartic to talk about all of this. Maybe that's the point. It's the point of when we talk about New Year's, like New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. New Year's Eve, I think it's important to reflect on the past year, good and bad. I think that that's a good thing, that you reflect on it, you appreciate what, you know what, one of the things I like about reflecting at the end of the year, one of the things that I really, really, really like about it is that when you sit down and you try and think of, God, this year felt terrible. Let's think about all the stuff that happened. And you realize you have a hard time thinking of certain things. What do we always say? What do we always do? We always have that thing where we're like, I forgot that was this year. Jet Black, thank you so much for the invitation to the host club. Very much appreciate that. We get to the end of the year and we think, man, what a dumpster fire of a year this was, man. What were the bad things that happened? And we realize that there are a couple of standouts, and then there's some stuff that we're not sure of. There's stuff that people bring up, which we're going to talk about in a bit, but there's stuff that people bring up and we think, oh man, that was this year. And what that tells me is that it was bad at the time, but did not have the lasting impact. You know what I mean? When things feel like, wow, this sucks, and I'm always going to think about how bad it sucks. And then you get to the end of the year and you realize, wow, I actually don't remember half of that. So that's like a good thing to me. I look at that as a good sign. Like, okay, good. So that should be proof that you think back to when these things happen and you think about how annoyed you were and how much it sucked. And then when you get to not even a year later and you realize, I can't even remember that happened this year, that's probably a good sign. That's probably a really good sign. So I think that it's important to reflect on that stuff. Gorilla Latimer, Marcos, Dragoon, Min Spy, the High Wario, Jet Black, Super Weird Plush, Bobo, what's going on? Hello, how are you doing at this final day, the precipice of the year, right? 99.999% complete. And yes, Min, before we get started with anything else, absolutely 100% rest in peace, Betty White. We got the word a little while ago, and it was confirmed. So rest in peace, Betty White. Very, very, very cool person. Somebody I thought that would have been a cool person to meet in real life. She got pumped up over the last few years thanks to things like social media. And I always wondered, what would it be like to meet this person in real life? And unfortunately, that's not going to happen. But very cool. It seemed like a very cool person. So rest in peace to you. My dog died a few months ago. That whenever a pet passes away, I always think like, God, this is going to be horrible forever. And it is horrible forever, right? You never. When I think back about some of the pets that I lost, I don't think about them and think, oh, that's fine. They're gone. I think it still sucks. But I do remember the good times with them, so that always helps. The fact that they passed away, and ironically, this is kind of true for Betty White also. The fact that they passed away sucks, but as cliche as it sounds, the memories that you have with them will go on forever, or for as long as you're alive, hopefully. I think it's a lot of exaggeration. Sure, on surface level, the state of the world, etc., was bad. But when is it not? But on a personal level, not a bad year overall. Yeah, I think so, Marcos. I think on a personal level, it was kind of sucky for me too. But I had some big wins. So I want to talk about. I'll talk about my the good and the bad for me, and then we'll definitely talk about the state of the world. The state of the world is the world's still on fire, right? I don't even know that we need to specify anything. I think it's safe to say the world's still on fire. I have arrived. Time sure does fly when you're stuck at home all year. I swear it feels like the year just started. That's another thing, is that this year definitely feels like it flew by. I feel like we were talking about 2020 being over. Thank God 2020 is over. And then all of a sudden it was November. And Thanksgiving was right around the corner. Going into the new year in 3 hours. Sorry for sharing. No, it's all right. It's super weird. Order place sweet and sour chicken. I'm Dragoon. I am also getting Chinese food tonight. I think Chinese food is going to be my end of the year treat. I think that's going to be the thing that just Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve is going to be like Chinese food is the thing. This year could not resist giving us one more gut punch before the year was over. Absolutely. The world is on fire, literally. Yeah. Every year has bad and good moments. It depends on how you take it. It's what the difference is, Wolf. And it's sort of what who was that just said? Marcos said that. It's sort of like what Marcos said. Every year has good and bad, but a lot of the time it's personal on that level, right? You had a good year, you had a bad year. This person had a good year, this person had a bad year. But this year and last year, for anybody that I'm already seeing posts about it. Like I saw a post earlier, a little while ago, that said we owe 2020 an apology. No, the hell we do not owe 2020 an apology. 2020 was still the worst year ever. For as long as I've been alive, 2020 was the worst year ever, and it was horrible because it was horrible for so many people. There were the things that happened in 2020 were bad on a monumental scale for a monumental amount of people. 2021 still kind of sucked, but a lot of 2021's suckitude, that's a word I'm making up, stems from last year. Like when we talk about, when we're talking about 2020, like when we talk about 2021 sucking and we talk about the healthcare stuff, most of that stems from last year, right? Because we're talking about the Cove, we're talking about the healthcare costs and things like that, and the things that came up. Most of that is related to the Cove, and all of that is last year. So it still sucked, but the source of the suckitude was the year before. There are these things that happen, and like you said, it's good for some people, bad for some people. It's about perspective. But I think that a lot of the crappy stuff we saw this year was just related to so many people that I think it's safe to call this an overall loss. I think it's safe to call 2021 an overall loss. The world was always on fire. The center of it is lava. Actually, super weird plush. When it's underground, it's called magma. Oh. I mean, it's a turkey breast with most of the trimmings, not stuffing. Something I've struggled with, and it came out fantastic. Great. That's great. Trios, it sucks because we always, in the U.S., I can't tell you how many times we have turkey for Thanksgiving, and we talk about, man, we got to make turkey more often. And then we don't have turkey until maybe Christmas, but more than likely next Thanksgiving. Hey, great. Just damn it, we're so close. We were so close. 2020 was a damn close contender to the worst year for me. 2014 still has that crown, but damn, 2020 gave it a run for its money. 2020 started with the Australian forest fire and a possible World War III. That's right. And it was 3 days, and that was that's right. That was 2020. Remember that? Remember how crazy it was, and it was right at the beginning? We started the year with lingering effects of a global pandemic, which, and Marcos, lingering effects is not even right because we still had a lot of it to go through, right? We felt like it was lingering. We felt like, oh, we're on the brink of it being over. We just have to deal with this little thing. Little did we know that the crap storm was going to kick off continuously throughout the year. You know, that you have countries that are still in shutdowns or had to go back into shutdowns. You have our country, which should be going into shutdown and will refuse to do so. You've got the CDC, and I'm sorry to be so grim, but we want to talk about this stuff here. You know what? Hold on. We're going to get into it right now. You've got the CDC, the company, the organization that is supposed to be protecting us, throwing us under the bus 5 days early because we have to get back to work, right? Even the CDC is like, oh, but we got to keep the commercial train running. It's just such a disaster. It really was just horrible. I can agree 2021 was not great, but that doesn't mean 2020 was suddenly good. Kind of like Nintendo. No, you know what, Dragoon? It's kind of like it's kind of like Skyward Sword. Right, like Skyward Sword. Maybe we owe Skyward Sword on the Wii an apology. No, the hell we don't. It was a messed up game with a lot of problems. Just because the remake was better, no. My mom passed. Oh, 2014. Your mom passed away. Okay. I also think it's important to remember that part of why 2021 had more issues to feel that 2020's issue stress. Yeah, exactly. We started the year with that thing. Oh my God, yeah, that's where we started the year with. For if you're in the U.S., that's where we started the year with. Holy smokes! CDC just told me to turn off the power before the console is finished saving. I'm at this point, I'm expecting the CDC to contact me on behalf of my car manufacturer trying to reach me about my extended warranty. We could have been more over it, but so many people said, you're wrong, everything is fine. Even the CDC is like, fine, go to work. Then you didn't listen to us before, so why'd you stop? And the problem, Dragoon, is that as it turns out, the CDC was lying in the first place. Talking about, oh, well, the CDC admitted that they knew it was supposed to be 10 days, and they cut it down to 5 because the system couldn't handle people being out of work for 10 days. Yeah, there is no war. There is no pandemic in Ba Sing Se. 2021 could have been way worse. I mean, it could have been 2020, right? And you know what, Ronan? The idea that like it could have been way worse that's kind of true for any year, though. Even 2020, for as bad as and awful as that year was, that year could have been way worse. But it was still. That doesn't mean it was fine. It was still awful. It could have been way worse. Yeah, it also could have been way better. Let's be honest with you. What is this? My 2021 highlights include MCU, Star Wars Media, Spider-Man No Way Home, modding, Smash, Sora in Smash Bros, Mario Party, beating Digimon, Cyber Sleuth, Monster Hunter Rise, PS2, Android emulation, Puerto Rico, and Orlando, being in streams with people I really like and make my day. My downside for this year, besides the world being awful, is my dental issues. My work career hasn't been that progressive. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of ups and downs. And the reason I said this before and I'm saying it again now. The reason I say that overall it feels like a dumpster fire is just because some of the things that happened were big and affected a lot of people. You know, there was a lot of challenges that we went through that were not personal. You know, it's one thing for you to have a horrible personal year. But I think a lot of the stuff that happened that was terrible just affected so many people. And it's, you know, when we look at, hey, Dragon Cap, you know, I mean, let's talk about a few things. Let's get this out of the way now. I want to get this out of the way. Obviously, we're already talking about it, but I want to get this out of the way now. What are some of the crap that happened over this year? Let's go over some of the crap that has gone on over this year. And I'm asking you guys to bring some stuff up too. Obviously, we had, if you're in the U.S., you had the stuff in D.C. that happened right at the beginning of the year. Horrible. We're still dealing with that stuff. We're still dealing with a lot of the BLM issues. We're still dealing with a lot of violence that's out there that is not even we're at a point where the violence that's out there isn't even being reported anymore. Because people are just exhausted. They're just mentally exhausted. We have had multiple video game studios where nightmarish stories have come out of things that people are dealing with. You know, you've got the Activision Blizzard situation. You've got some of these other companies that were just god awful behind the scenes, god awful in front of the scenes. It's you know, and I'm like, what else was there? Obviously, you've got every single thing related to the pandemic. You've got the chip shortages. I think that the chip shortages were a big thing because this affected so many sectors. This affected so many areas, and one of the things that I think that the chip shortage affected, obviously not as important as some of the other things it would seem, but the entertainment media is a way for people to escape, and it felt like people couldn't even do that. You have these shipping shortages because so many people are going out of work. You know, I didn't tell you guys this story. I decided to treat myself last week, and I went to Popeyes, to the fast food place. I was in there for like a half an hour. I was in there. There was a line around the building for a drive-thru, so I went in. I was surprised that we could go in. I went in. There was probably 2 other people there. There were 3 people working. And one of the other customers that was there asked him, like, man, what happened? Like, he wasn't mad. He was just saying, like, what happened? Apparently, a bunch of the people that worked there just decided they didn't want to show up until late. Like, they just decided, oh, I'm not going to show up until noon. So they got there while we were in there. I was in there for like a half an hour. I almost left, and I'm like, no, at this point, it's some cost fallacy. I spent this much time here waiting. Now I want my food. Now I want to order food. That's a thing that's happening everywhere. I'm noticing more and more as I go to, and I don't know if this is anywhere else. I know that this is in the U.S. I'm noticing the more and more places you go, you're starting to notice like skeleton crews of people working there because people don't want to work at those jobs because they're tired of being berated and they're tired of it happening for a minimum wage. So I went somewhere where there was like a place with service. And there was like one person serving everybody there. And that's just the kind. And I'm not one of those. I want to make that clear. I'm not one of those people that's like, you people need to get back to work. I'm saying this is a good thing that people are, they're standing up for what they believe they're rightfully owed, right? I don't think people should be ridiculous about what they deserve to be paid. But at the same time, they have been woefully underpaid for a very long time, and they get mistreated for it. You know, when you look at a lot of these jobs that have massive amounts of vacancies, you're talking about the service industry. You're talking about like fast food, retail stores. When you look at those are jobs that are notorious for low pay and notorious for negative customer interactions. Customers treating the employees like crap. And it's those industries where people are like, I don't want to deal with it anymore. I don't want to put up with it anymore. You've got people from office buildings that their companies have either downsized or their companies have restructured how they do things. I work in a train station, so I regularly would see people like regulars coming into work. My station opens at 5:30 in the morning. My first train was 5:49. And I would have 30 people catching that first train. Regulars. After the shutdown ended last year, and then, we were still very, very slow to come back. This year, I noticed more people coming back, but nowhere near like it used to be. I would say for my station, from what it used to be before the pandemic to right now, I would say I've probably got about 25 to 30% of the volume of people that I had before. And every once in a while, I see some of my old customers. They'll come in because they're going into the city for a day, or they are, or they're going to work. And I talk to them about what's going on, and they say, yeah, after the shutdown ended, my company restructured. Most of our work we're able to do online, so we do that. And then they're going in once or twice a month for meetings. There may be things that they physically have to do in person, but other than that, they're doing everything from home. I saw a couple customers, more than a couple, I would say, that their companies restructured and offered them early retirement, and they took it because it was cheaper to pay out their retirement than it was to maintain them as an income, pay for their travel, because a lot of these people were getting travel stipends. You know, that's $100 and something a month for a monthly. And they were just like, it's worth it just to pay them out, pay out their retirement plan. And the people were like, yeah, I'm going to take it. Oh, let me scroll back up here. Wrong answer, CCD. I don't pretend I haven't spent over a year trying to get people to do it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Dragoon. Absolutely. They made up a lie, but people weren't going to believe the truth from them anyway. 2020 and 2021 and 2022 are definitely the years of, no matter the situation, the worst case scenario is always going to happen. I'm trying to be optimistic, but we'll move on. Hold on. People not wanting to work is a whole different issue. I've seen that in my area of the U.S., West Coast. I see Gorilla help wanted signs, now hiring signs everywhere. Everywhere. Every fast food place, every place that has service, all of the like Target and all that, and Walmart, all the time we're hiring. They have not stopped hiring people. Starbucks at my mall closed during the week of Christmas because only one person showed up to work that Wednesday. I was at Micro Center today. Micro Center was stupid packed, by the way. I was at Micro Center today, and while I was there, there was a guy that was behind me, and you know, you get in a line and people just want to start talking to you. This guy was talking to me. He had just come from Best Buy. The Best Buy that he went to didn't even open. He's like, yeah, I went and it was just closed. And I think it's just probably because they didn't have people. Like, that would not be surprising to me. If I went somewhere, and when I went to the Popeyes, like I told you, I was surprised that the doors were open. I parked up and I walked to see if I could go in, and I was surprised I can go in. A lot of fast food places, what they're doing now is they're not opening the waiting rooms at all. You have to go through the drive-thru because they don't have enough people to run the counter and the drive-thru window and cook the food. So they're not even opening. And you know what? If you change, here's what I would say. Here's what I would say for fast food places to do that are in that situation. I'm 100% honest. I'm being 100% honest. Shut down the drive-thru line for cars. Put up a thing, like put up cones so they can't drive through, and turn it into walk-up. Dairy Queen and Checkers. Those are, I don't know what they're like where you live. Where we are here, they're all, like the Dairy Queen that we have here has drive-through and walk-up. The Checkers that I used to go to was no drive-through. It was just walk-up. Turn them into walk-ups at this point. Don't have a waiting room open. There's no need to have a waiting room open right now. Nobody wants to maintain it. Excuse me. Nobody wants to maintain it. And people probably don't want to eat there anyway. Turn all the drive-thrus into walk-ups and stop with the building. Stop with letting people inside. The problem is that some people want way too much for some of these jobs. And that, yeah, I mean, it's sort of weird shootout because you know, what's too much, what's not enough. It's sort of a weird. I'll be honest with you, shootout. What I've noticed more is that most people just want respect for what they're doing. Most people don't want to be treated like, we spent 2020 telling everybody that grocery store workers were unsung heroes. And all of these people were unsung heroes because they're fighting through and they're making sure that we've got what we need in order to survive. And then now people are back to treating them like crap. They don't want $30 an hour. They want a decent amount of pay and they want a little respect for what they do. Is that so unfair? That people are like, oh, these guys want everything. They don't want everything. They just want you to be nice to them. Why is that so? And you know what? And I said this before on Twitter. Even if they want a little bit more pay, an appropriate amount of pay, considering what cost of living is nowadays, why is it that people turn it into they want to work one day a week and get paid $1 million? It's not that crazy. People just want to be able to pay for the exorbitant price of living and maybe order a pizza once in a while and not have to worry about if they're going to miss their rent payment because they want to order a pizza. You know what's crazy? I said that online. There was a post that was going around and I commented that online. Like, why is it that whenever people talk about making more money, there's always a group of people that make it sound like they want to get paid $1 million. Like they want to live an extravagant lifestyle for very little work. Somebody responded to me because I made the pizza comment. Somebody actually responded to me. Why are you ordering pizza if you're having trouble with money? You just proved my point. I am not saying I want to work 10 hours a week in a fast food place and afford a trip to Hawaii. I'm saying I want to work a 40-hour work week and order a pizza once in a while, and you're questioning why I'm spending money on a pizza. It was exactly what I was talking about. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that somebody responded to me with that. Notice how many jobs are advertising their starting wages. Yeah, you're right, Marcos. They never did. Jobs never did that before. And now they're like starting wages $13, $15 an hour. I live in London and around my area. There were multiple fires. One of them was on the news. There was also a thing around for a quick minute where dudes from gangs knife fighting each other in broad daylight. Holy smokes. For me, it's gotten me mainly a personal side. Seeing people I look up to suddenly being awful people felt awful about themselves. Obviously, I pushed through that mentality. I'm sorry that's going on. Fast food, but the drive-through lines are super long when fast food isn't fast. Hold on, I'm gonna jump through some comments here. People don't want too much. People want to be able to live, not feel like tomorrow they might not be able to pay or eat or pay rent. I had a bad moment last week where I snapped at the McDonald's. I felt so bad after I got home. I felt like a genuine POS afterwards. Garbage men are unsung heroes. All of those people. If you kept working through the pandemic, you're an unsung hero, probably. Small job, travel members often visited the place. There were some of the rudest clients we had. One guy literally smeared his feet. Oh my God. Yeah, I can't even order a pizza. Like, right? How crazy is that? You don't have $5? No, I don't. I'm broke. In the area where I am, to give you an example, I've seen personally. You have people who want $30, $35 an hour for landscaping, which some can barely even speak the language. Some companies are scumbags. The opposite is that's a pretty and you know what's funny about that shootout? Something like landscaping. Let's be completely honest with you. The landscapers, a lot of the time, they're gardeners, right? They mow the lawns, they edge and trim. People are just going to do that on their own. They're just going to do that on their own. That's something that I feel like you've been noticing a lot of. I feel like you've been noticing a lot of people taking certain things into their own hands when it comes to home repair, when it comes to home maintenance, outdoor landscaping, things like that. You're getting a lot of people that cannot afford to drop money doing everything, so they have to start taking things into their own hands. And you know what they're starting to realize? Wow, it's a lot cheaper. I've got a lot more money. Going back to people at my job, the riders that are not going into work anymore. I have had several that very happily took either the payouts or they changed their positions to work from home positions. Why? Because they have kids. And because the cost of things like daycare is exorbitant. It turned out to be cheaper for them to not have to leave the house, spend 3 hours a day traveling, spend $144 a month, because that's what it costs for a monthly pass from my station, spend $144 a month to do that travel, and have to pay for lunches while they're out, and have to pay for daycare. All of those expenses went away when they decided, I'm going to stay home. Is it crazy that makes perfect sense? I've had landscaping jobs. No, they won't. There's apartment complex jobs, which makes sense, but some of those bigger yards won't be done by the people that live. Oh, no, you're absolutely, Hawk, absolutely. There are some people who have big elaborate setups that they definitely need help with. There are some people that, like you said, there's going to be apartment complexes and whatnot where, it's just too much work for them. There's definitely going to be a lot of people that are not going to have that option. But I guarantee you, you said you've had landscaping jobs. Did you have landscaping jobs from smaller homes that could easily have managed themselves had they the time? Let's say, for instance, they don't have to go to work into the office 5 days a week anymore. Maybe they're only going 1 or 2 days a week. Did they have a small enough setup where all of a sudden they can go and buy a lawnmower and an edger, and now they can do all of the work that they need to? That's my point, is that you're going to start getting people who are, your toilet breaks. What do a lot of people do? A lot of people call the plumber. You're going to start getting more and more people who realize, I can go to YouTube and they can show me a video on how to fix this. And those plumbers are now, those little jobs that the plumbers used to get where they were charging $200 to come out and snake a toilet, snake a drain. They're not making that money anymore. Those are little jobs. Not everything. And I feel like a contractor would, and you said you were a landscaper. I feel like a contractor would tell you this. You know who tells you this? Tattoo artists. Tattoo artists will tell you this. The big jobs are the big jobs, but the little jobs are so much more frequent that they are more likely to make them more money over time. A $2,000 plumbing job takes time and effort, and you can't do multiples at once. A $100 plumbing job, you can probably bang out 4 or 5 of those a day, and do them all week. So depending on what the season is and what the situation is, you might get more work from something like that. You might get more money from something like that. So what is going to happen when these people that have $100, $200 plumbing jobs that need to be done, and they start doing them themselves? They're like, no, I'm just going to look up a YouTube video. Obviously, it's going to depend on what, the person themselves and what the job is. But my point is just that there is going, and you should probably already be seeing it, there are going to be situations where people are going to start having to do it for themselves. Like the guy that lives next to me started mowing his own grass. And Hawk, he probably paid a landscaper to do it just out of convenience. It's $10, $20 every 2 weeks. Why not? Here you go. I'll chuck you the money. I don't have to do it, right? I don't have to stand out there and sweat and do it. But all of a sudden, that $40 a month is not an expense that you can afford anymore. He's going to drop some money on a lawnmower. He's going to start doing it himself. And what's he going to learn? He's going to learn that it's really not that difficult. It's not as much of a pain in the ass as he thought. You get to get outside. I hate mowing the lawn. I don't like mowing the lawn. It's a pain in the ass. I go out there. It makes me hot and sweaty and uncomfortable. But when I'm done it, I usually feel pretty good. I'm like, I got outside. I did some stuff. Yeah, a little bit here and there adds up over time. Depends on the area, actually, since there are actually some areas that are forced electricity-only tools. California is like you can't use gas-powered tools, which is a good chunk more expensive just to buy the tools. We have a saying for that over here. Hold on. Markt smat gear it stort. Oh my God, I got that way wrong. A lot of small things will add up to a large one, which would somewhat explain why my family at our current rented home dealt with constant small flooding and the landlord merely rotted it out. Only recently decided to get the problem fixed because it was cheaper. Not bad. Was it not bad? Oh, Marksmats Gitter it stort. Oh, okay. I think I probably made it worse that time. Yes, but YouTube has disabled dislikes, so finding someone who has to head up their asses has increased. Mike. Your problem. I don't know how much of that is a joke, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I guarantee you. There are people out there who have kids in their family who are now passing these jobs on to their children. Yeah, and it doesn't include the tools. Bad. Well, shootout. If I know that there are like lawnmowers and stuff that you can plug in. I had an edger that you can plug in. So they're probably just doing that. Like the plug-in lawnmowers are not as strong. Yeah, it's not a joke. I just point and say, "Clean it, boy." It's at least double for the trash level tools. Yeah, it's that's just a sort of thing that's happening right now. You're noticing that the lack of money and the change in income is just altering how people do things, and some people are choosing that. Some people are realizing if I scale, and this, what's crazy? This is something that I actually figured out like a year and a half ago, where if I scale back my life to an extent, I can have an easier life. I can really have an easier life. And one of the biggest things that the pandemic taught people, especially in 2020, is that lesson exactly. There are a lot of people out there that realize I can scale back my life. I don't need as much as I had and still be happy. If anything, I'd be happier with the extra time. People are pursuing their hobbies more. People are relaxing more. It's great. I think it's a fantastic thing that's been happening. Obviously, we were talking about all the crap from 2021 and 2020, but that's probably the best thing that has come out of it, is that people have learned how to manage their lives a little bit better and are starting to realize if I scale back my life, what I'm left with is far more valuable. It's way more valuable. Like I said, you have people that are happy that they're not going into their office jobs anymore because they get to wake up at a more reasonable time, get their kids together, see their kids off to school, take their kids to school, come back home and work and do their office work at home. Get their work done as fast as possible. Fill out their quotas, maybe a little bit more, and then be there when their kids come home from school. Go get them from school. They're able to, and right off the top of that, as far as time goes, they're not spending 3 hours traveling. They're not getting in their car, driving to the train station, sitting at the train station for 20 minutes, getting on the train for 40 minutes, walking to go to their job from there. All of that whole process can be 45. Well, it's 40 minutes ride on the train. All that process can be an hour and 20 minutes. And then they have to do it again at the end of the day. And what they're realizing is, wow, I get more time if I don't do that, and it's cheaper. I spend less in gas, I spend less in transit costs, and I spend less on food while I'm out. Because not everybody packs a lunch. There are good things that have come out of these past 2 years, and that's one of them. And I'm not even somebody that's affected by that. That doesn't affect me, right? I can't do my job from home. You also got to account for job location. Yeah, and some people just don't want to be in the city. Some people hate the city. They don't like the atmosphere. They don't like the environment. Now you don't have to go to it. I like when I've seen people that used to go in every day and they get on they're coming to the station because they're going to go to the city for a little bit. And they're like, yeah, I haven't been there in about a year. So I thought I would go down and go walk around. And, it's not the place that they hate because of work. It's a place that they might want to visit every once in a while. People were going down for Christmas. Christmas in I don't know, in Center City, Philadelphia, they always set up this little Christmas village where it's they're real, like, they're shacks and stuff, but they are little Christmas shops. So they're always, handicrafts, decorations. There's nothing really super commercial there. And it's really nice, and it's really well lit up, and it's really pretty. It's really nice. A lot of people that I saw going down there this year were regulars that haven't been going down there, and they would never go down there before. But now they haven't been there in a little while, and they want to go down there. They want to experience this stuff because now this is a fun place where this display is not, I take this train 5 days a week and now I have to do it on the weekend and I don't want to go there. Because that's how I was when I lived in when I worked in the city. I mean, I used to be, my position had me going into Center City 5 days a week. I didn't want to go there in my time off. When it was not time for me to be, when it was the weekend or something, I didn't want to go down there because I didn't want to take the same train that I took every day, the same buses that I took every day, walk the same areas that I went to every day. That was where work was. I mean, I don't even like driving down the same road that I use to get to work on days that I have off. It's like, it feels like I'm going to work when I do that. Now that I don't go down there anymore, I don't mind going to the city. I like going to the city every once in a while. Because I still don't like the city that much. But I don't mind going down there. Hold on. Need to take a quick shower. Also, to be fair, especially with trimming, people forget the yard people have to pay to dispose of that stuff. I had an electric mower that had no wheels. And it bent the grass more than cut it. I mean, electric tools are pretty awful. Office jobs can be done at home. 2020-2021 made a lot of people realize of how hard they've been working themselves. You also got to cover job location. It can be kind of a pain, but I like going to work. Meal prepping my lunches for the week helps a lot. Yeah, I mean, Mike, some people like they like the act of going out to a job, but for a lot of people, they don't like. I would argue that a lot of people don't like it just because they don't have the option. Psychologically, we've been trained to believe we aren't being productive when we're at home. 2020 spit in the face of that fact. It sounds awesome. And it's nice. Impure. When Center City does all of that Christmas stuff, it's really nice. But yeah, I mean, this year has just been, it feels like just more of the same, right? And I'm so worried about 2022. A lot of people are asking me, like, what do you think 2022 is going to be like? I have hopes for the year. And I don't know. Like, I feel like, I don't want to be a naysayer. I don't want to be a doom and gloomer, but I don't feel like I saw Well, that's not really true. Now that when I really think about it, what I was gonna say was I don't feel like I saw anything to make me feel like 2022 is gonna be better. But to be completely honest, a lot of the stuff I just said makes me feel that way when I really think about it. 2020. Here's my silver lining for 2022. Here's what I think is going to happen. What I think is going to be really good. 2020 caught everybody by surprise. It caught everybody by surprise. And we were not prepared for it. Mentally, we were not prepared for it. And physically, structurally, we were not prepared for it. Our lives were structured around going out and doing things and interacting with other people, whether we liked it or not. Our lives were designed and structured in that way. So 2020 was a disaster. 2021, and this started in 2020, but it was also in 21. There was a thing that I called desert island syndrome. Deserted island syndrome. Your plane crashes and you end up on a deserted island. What do? Gather up some supplies, right? You do the survival stuff. You sit on the beach and you wait to be rescued. Day one goes by, you don't get rescued, right? Maybe you start a fire at night and you try to get seen by an airplane or something, right? We all saw Castaway. We know how it works. Day two, you sit on the beach. Wait to be rescued. Nothing happens. Day three, you sit on the beach, wait to be rescued. Nothing happens. Day 4, 5, 6. At some point, you need to get off the beach, go find shelter, go find food and water, long-lasting supplies of these things, because at some point, you are going to have to build a life on this island. You do not survive for long on this island, sitting on the beach, waiting to be rescued. You have to build a life on this island. 2020 and what I feel like was 2021 a lot. There's a lot of people still sitting on the beach waiting to be rescued. What do you always hear? And if you feel like you haven't noticed this, I'm going to tell you exactly when you have noticed this. Boy, I can't wait for things to go back to normal. Raise your hand. Give me an up arrow if you have heard people say, I can't wait for things to go back to normal. I thought things were going to be a little bit more normal this year. Heard that like a million times. Up arrow. Normal didn't work. That's why it collapsed when it was stressed. It didn't work. It was not a sound, reliable system. You need to restructure your life. Get off the beach and find a new way to live your life. If you were sitting there in 2020 and 2021 saying, I am waiting for things to go back to normal, that normal is not coming back. That normal is not coming back. You need to restructure your life, and you need to restructure what you are expecting out of your life. And that's not bad. That's not a bad thing. It is important that you reassess what is valuable in your life and what you want and how to get it. And that's what you need to be doing. That's what you should have been doing with this past year. And that's the best thing you can do for this next year, is to take your life, take the life that is around it, and make it work in a way that is going to be good long term. The reason I bring this up is because the silver lining that I see on the horizon is that now we are structurally better prepared for it. Mentally, we're starting to get it. Mentally, we're starting to realize I need to reassess what it is that I am expecting out of my life. We're also better equipped for it physically in the immediate area around us. Anybody who started to use a computer for work, right? You had an office job, you hated it, you hated the travel, you hated going down there, you hated this and that, and now what happened? You had to learn how to get Zoom, you had to learn how to use a webcam, you had to learn how to use your computer, you had to learn how to do all these things. Now you have all of those things, and now you're more experienced in them. You are better equipped to handle the future. You are better equipped to handle a life that it takes place in multiple places. You don't have to live your life out there where you admit you didn't like it. It cracks me up how many people are talking about they want things to go back to normal, and these are people that I saw and heard constantly talk about how much they hate going into their jobs. I work for a mass transit system. Do you know how many times I've heard people complain and piss and moan about the mass transit system? Oh, these trains are always late. Oh, they're so rude. I can't believe they charge so much money for a monthly pass. I can't believe the parking costs this much. I can't believe this and that. So and now you're complaining that you don't have to do that. You're complaining when you had to deal with the mass transit system. Now you're complaining that the things are being structured in a way that you don't have to deal with the mass transit system. You literally can't win. I don't know what it is that you want. We're better prepared and equipped to get more out of our lives right now. And that is the best thing I can see on the horizon, is that if you want things to go back to you going to work every day, hopefully we're going to be closer to that. If you want things to remain in a structure where you have more freedom outside of your work environment, things are equipped for that too. That's the biggest. Hold on. Let me go back up here. I haven't seen Castaway, but I did watch a 2-hour video about Lost. Lost is awesome. I like Lost. I repair electronics for a living. The closest I feel to not wanting to experience my work week routine on the weekend is when my in-laws want me to look at the electronics they don't know how to use. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with it. I can't fix you forgetting your login information again with a soldering iron. And Mike, I can tell you right now, I have talked to multiple people, because a lot of the people that would come into my job were older people. These are people that I would hear having the conversation of, I don't even know how to turn my computer on. It annoys me when I hear older people saying things like that, because it's not cute anymore. Computers have been a part of our lives for 30 years. If you don't know how to use a computer right now, you have actively chosen to not learn how to do that, and that is on you. That's like me saying I don't even know how to dial a telephone. If you don't know how to dial a telephone, you have actively decided, if you're 50-something years old and you don't know how to dial a telephone, you have actively decided to stay away from telephones. At this point, computers have been a part of our lives for 30 years. If you don't know how to use a computer in the most basic form, you have actively chosen to not know how to do that. But I can't tell you how many people I've had come in, older people that are saying, yes, they now know how to use computers. They had to learn. I had to learn. My office gave me a computer to use at home so that I can do my job. I had to learn how to use it. And now they know how to use it. So you'll probably, hopefully, get less people in your family that are like, oh, tell me how to fix this. Absolutely agree. People can just act like the world hasn't changed, but it has. I feel like I can't really speak on this. My life didn't change much. I'm part of the communications infrastructure, so I never stopped going to work. The only thing that changed is I started wearing a mask at work. You know what, Mike? It's interesting. You're part of the communication infrastructure. I would imagine that your work got busier. If any, by the way, you are an unsung hero. Like we said, we talked about the unsung heroes before. In this day and age, where our communication infrastructure is more important than it's ever been, you are probably an unsung hero. You probably do not get the respect and the credit you deserve for keeping our lines of communication open, because they have never been more important. So I thank you for that. Hey, wait, here, hold on. Many people love complaining more than they want to solve issues. I mean, that's a constant, no matter where it is. So people just need to stop and treat our public transit system better. Some people are just never happy. Yeah, look, right? I need to watch Lost again. Yeah, Wing, we said that. Rest in peace, Betty. Now we wait for the whole message. Now we wait for this whole message to blow up in its face. Wait, what? Hold on. Did you post something? Hang on. Hang on. Where Magic want to fix it? Computers are way easier nowadays than they were back in the early aughts. My dad is the same way, but I don't give him too much hell because he was raised in the middle of nowhere in Mexico. And Marcos, and I can acknowledge that. I can appreciate that. But has he lived in the middle of nowhere in Mexico for the last 20 years? At some point you got to engage. 2021 was the year of returning to work for me after my plans after college crumbled in 2020. I want 2022 to be more productive for me with things like networking and catching up on stuff. I can name a few people who just complain and never bring anything to the table. Yeah, Ted Betty White. I was close to. She was like 2-3 weeks off from turning 100. This is the silver lining topic. I thought we were dropping a nuke on 2021. And people want teachers to keep up working on site since, people don't want to deal with their own crotch goblins. I mean, that's another one is teachers. Teachers are amazing. People act like, teachers just teach kids. No, they don't. They're babysitters. Teachers are babysitters. They not only are they responsible for teaching your children, but they're responsible for keeping them safe for 6 to 8 hours a day. Look at what happens when you don't have them. When a teacher's job is done online, you still have to watch your children. Look at how much harder your life gets. Your life got so much harder. And the teacher was still able to do their job. The teacher is still able to get online. The teacher is still able to teach children. But what people are realizing now is that teachers' jobs were way more than just teaching. They were caregivers. They were child rearers. They were babysitters. They did all of these things. And now, when their job is just, they were decorators, right? Because it's their job to decorate up the classrooms out of their own pocket, by the way. Therapists sometimes. Suppliers, right? It's crazy that teachers have to supply their classrooms with all the different stuff. It's wild. And now what happened? We're getting into this situation where a lot of this stuff is being done online. And teachers only have to teach. You have a problem. You have something you need to really discuss. You could probably talk to your teacher about it, but more than likely, you should probably talk to your parent about it. They don't need They don't need to buy supplies. They don't need to dress up classrooms. They don't need to drive into work every day. All they need to do is teach your children. And what parents are realizing now is, wow, there's a lot of other crap that the teacher was responsible for that now I am responsible for as a parent. Not me personally, but teachers raise kids. And for all of that stuff that they're doing for your child, they're doing it for 100 other kids. Oh, man. We're also raising them as well. I mean, goddamn. If you travel 500 years back in time, grab someone and drop them in the middle of the 21st century, they'd be able to fully adapt in about 10 years. Yeah, I think so. I don't doubt for a second that if you brought somebody from a time where not even electricity was known, in 10 years time, 20, especially 20 years time, you'd be able to integrate them into society and they would understand how things work. At least to a level where they could function. Right? I would not expect them to understand, because even we don't. Right? Most of us don't do it. Let's be clear here. I can walk over to that light switch and turn that light switch on and the light comes on. And I know that does that. I know that when I flick that switch, the light bulb comes on. I don't need to know how the power plant generates electricity, how it runs power through lines, through substations, through other lines, through transformers outside, into through wires into my house, through wiring from my circuit breaker up into my light switch, and then what happens when I turn my light switch on. I don't need to know any of that. All I need to know is when I flick the switch, the light comes on. When we talk about computers and people say, I don't even know how to use a computer, you don't need to know. You don't need to be able to open up a computer and point out all of the parts and figure out what everything does and build one and take it apart and do all of this other stuff. What you need to know is I push the power button, I wait a little bit of time, I move the little arrow with the mouse, the little hand thingy, right? I move the arrow, I click the icon, the internet comes up, I type in Google, I go to Google and I type in something and I hit enter and it does a search for me. That's all you need to know. No one's saying that you need to be a computer tech. All you need to know is basic computer usage. And people don't even want to know that. They don't want to know it. I don't even know how to turn a computer on. That's not something to be proud of. You should not be saying that with a smile on your face. You should be saying, ow, I don't know how to use a computer. In the computer age, I don't know how to use a computer. That's not a good thing. It's not. What we need to do is time travel someone to modern times and teach them the definition of based and cringe. I don't know anything about quantum physics. I just accept that my atoms are bonded together to make me solid. I understand I'm not glued together with magic. I mean, there might be magic, right? No, what is it? What is it, Mike? What is it? What is it like to someone who doesn't know what science, like, it's like someone who doesn't know what science is, it'll look like magic. I had 2 students that wanted me fired since I wasn't being fun for them, aka letting them do whatever they want. That plan blew up in their faces when one of their classmates asked them about their plan in front of me, and then all of their class year buddies turned against them. Some of those students also told me they tried the same for the teacher the year before, and it didn't work back then. They are also known amongst the faculty for trying such harebrained schemes. Yeah, you don't need to know how binary works to look up recipes online. A lot of stuff I like that. A lot of stuff is like that. People act like if you don't know 1,000% how a thing works, you just can't do it, when it's more like, do this and it does this. That's it. That's all you need to know. Yeah, you don't need to learn script to use a computer. You need to learn the power button. You need to understand what the mouse does. You know what the keyboard does. You've used the typewriter forever, so you know what a keyboard does. And you know how to go to Google and search for something. That's it. I feel like I don't know who that is, Max. Hi, but I don't know who that is. I feel like if you can figure out how to turn your computer on, move the mouse, use the keyboard, and go to Google, I feel like you've got like 60% of the internet down. Right? I feel like everything else is extra. You don't need social media. It's nice, but you don't need it. You don't need YouTube. You don't need any of those things. Most people use the internet as an information repository, And you can Google everything for that. Oh, you had a Gonzalesu? Hold on. Did you have a Gonzalesu? Okay. Give me a second, Jet Black. We'll run that Gonzalesu. You're not leaving yet, right? I don't want you to leave before we run it. To the primitive mind, any significantly advanced technology would be indistinguishable from magic. There we go. I love that quote. That's a great quote. I gotta write that down. Oh, you're sticking around. Okay, we'll get you. You know how to Google. You mean I don't just know better than anybody else, and I can be wrong. I've never been able to figure that out. Hold on, I don't need mouse traps for this mouse device thingy. You know what? You give them a bigger mouse and like, well, that's a rat. Tell them, right? Give them a really small one and like, here, use this mouse. Isn't the mouse any bigger? I thought the mouse was bigger. No, when they're bigger, they're called rats. Oh, is that a Hunter x Hunter thing? Okay, that's what it is. All right, so I've never watched Hunter x Hunter, or Hunter Squared, as I like to call it. Bing, you Google it. No one bings anything. No one bings anything. And the only reason you use Internet Explorer is to download Firefox. But yeah, all right. So what I want to talk about now, if you don't mind, I'd like to move on to something to something a little more positive. What are some of your wins from this year? Personal wins. I would like to ask you all, what are some of your personal wins from this year? I think everybody knows mine. I think everybody knows my big win this year. I started working out and taking care of myself back in March, and I am down 110 pounds. I'm still kind of slacking, right? Because it's the end of the year, and I'm still going to the gym, but I'm still kind of slacking. But my weight loss has been the big thing for this year. What are your big wins? What are some of the things that? What are some, and not just like okay things that happen? What are some of the things that you will look back and think, man, 2021 might have sucked, but this was awesome? Yeah, I saw yours, Flip. A lot of different media stuff. I feel like the trips were probably the bigger things there. I feel like a lot of that other stuff was just games and movies that you liked. I want to know about did you have any big W wins for your life? Big W wins. W's for your life. Student loan finally paid off. Got my 2 COVID vaccine shots this year. Just had a big W today. I came out to my aunt. Congratulations. That's a big one. Getting a PSVR. Accepting that I don't have to keep others happy at my happiness expense. Even family. Found a new favorite piece of media this year. I read through Umineko. When They Cry, and loved it. Thank you, Ev. I appreciate that. Ev Chilada. Started video editing, and I'm having a lot of fun doing that and learning. I don't have a personal win from this year that stands out, but my grandson was born in July. I mean, that's a pretty big. Let me ask you, Mike. First grandson, maybe. Finishing college, moved to another apartment. Grateful for finding a therapist I clicked with at the end of 2020, January 2021. No, wait, getting her PS5. Finding work, as simple as it may. No, Gorilla, that's an important thing. If you found the job, if you found a decent job, you could be doing that job for a long time. So this is the year that it started. That's great. I started my career, finally felt financially stable and got rid of an old student loan. Been losing some weight, still working on it, but it's slowly going down. Also did an MS Paint drawing, Nice. I got a MS Paint window right up there. I put my foot into the career path that I've been studying for. Although I was replaced 6 months in, I was exposed to that field and want to continue working in that field. Maybe even start my own video editing and graphic design business. Marcos, that's a great one. Let me tell you something. That's a really great one because I like how you framed it. you didn't frame it as I got a job, but I lost it. You got your foot in the door on the career path that you want. And while that particular job didn't work out, you recognize that you're still on the path. That's a really important thing. First grandson, not my first grandchild. My granddaughter is 7. Okay, all right. So you got a little something there. And let's be honest here. Just because it's your second grandchild doesn't mean it's an insignificant kid. That's still a great thing. Thinking about video editing again for my YouTube channel. What's with the title? Just 2021, right? Look at the picture. Being able to connect with my family and family due to the trips and movies is my highlights. But also my nephew and niece telling me they love me and how I'm viewed as a good uncle. That's a great thing. That's a great thing. My big win, and I take this as a positive, is literally being here today to see the end of the year and almost the end of a lot of issues I had when the year started. If you asked me back in April or May, some of you know I didn't see myself here today, and that motivates to see what other impossible things I can achieve. It's when you accept AGM that tomorrow and the day after aren't guaranteed, but you stick around anyway, it makes you wonder what is. You only really care about what's next when you have a hope for what's next. I talk about my health and how I done some work to get it back on track and to get it moving in a positive direction. One of the biggest motivators is when you see it starting to work, you think, wow, how much further can I take this? Obviously, you don't want to take it to somewhere dangerous, but I'm at a point now where I actually feel really healthy. All that makes me want to do is how much further can I take this? How much more weight can I lose? I probably don't need to lose that much more as far as the number goes. But one of the things that I see is my body. I see my body composition changing. There was a poll the other day on YouTube that I answered, and it's like, what are your fitness goals for 2022? And body recomposition. I had a big gut. I've had a big gut for a very long time. I had flab in a lot of places. A lot of that flab is gone, but some of it's still there. But what I'm noticing now is I'm actually noticing muscle definition in places where even when I was thinner, I never noticed anything. I have like the quad line. If anybody's familiar with that, I feel weird standing up and showing you, but I have like muscle definition in certain places, and now I see it when I work out and when I'm looking in a mirror, and I could sit there and think, oh, okay, that we're good, all right, look, we did it, right? But all I think is, wow, I wonder how much further I can take that. I wonder how much more toned I can get. I wonder how much more body fat I can lose and reorganize my body composition. And even if I end up, let's say when I get to a point where I'm like, I don't need to do any more work. Let's say I'm only 220 pounds, right? 210 or 220. That 210 or 220, I could probably get to a point where it's like, holy smokes. I never thought, I can tell you right now, I never thought that I would feel like this. I never thought that I would feel, healthy, to be honest with you. And I'm still not completely there, but I never thought that I would feel healthy. And all that's doing is motivating me to see, well, how much healthier can I feel? How much more stuff can I do? Later Lizard, have a good one. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Feeling is what I try and carry whatever life gets me down. I may feel like this now, but it's happened before and I'm still here and I'll be okay. Tomorrow is another day. Because of that, now I'm more motivated to go back to the Gray Line Show, the podcast, which I hope you're still down for future stuff, and just push more for my career, not only as a cook, but also as a producer, and do the season 1 of my show, pushing the crowdfunding, because I thought making things work this far was impossible. No way I can. But now if I made this, now I see myself making it work. You can take it pretty far. Not to brag, but I'm pretty shredded for a middle. And that's another thing, Mike, is that I feel pretty proud of this work that I've done. First of all, I feel proud of this work for being such a short amount of time. It kind of let me tell you something that bothers me. People ask me, how much weight did you lose? 110 pounds. I went from 340 down to I'm just under 230 right now. I hit just under 230 at the beginning of October. I've just been slacking for the last couple of months. I just sort of scaled everything down because I don't need to lose that much more as far as the number. If I was more strict, I'd be a lot lighter. So as I get further from the time that I started, I feel like the 110 pounds is less impressive, right? 110 pounds 6 months after I started working out is great. But if I'm 110 pounds lighter a year later, it's like, oh, well, I don't know. I'm less motivated. So I got to get back to it. But I'm proud of the fact that all of that, and I'm 43 years old. I feel like there's this idea that when you hit 40s, it's all downhill, which quite frankly, it kind of is. But I was able to do this later. So I want all of you, if you've got fitness issues, if you've got fitness goals, I would love for you to take some inspiration from what I'm doing. Not just for the fact that it works, but especially for older people, I want you to see that it's possible anywhere. I want you to see that no matter what age you are, it's possible to do this. I don't want you to think that when you get to a certain point, well, it's all downhill from here. It's only downhill if you roll with it. But you can change that direction. If you're 100 pounds and given your size, I'm sure that'd be the other extreme. No. I don't want to lose another 110 pounds. Weight-wise, I only want to lose another 20 to 30 pounds maximum. 30 pounds, I feel like getting to 200 pounds right now would be wild. My original goal was 220. My original goal was 240 because it was 100 pounds less. And then when you get about halfway, I got halfway really fast. So when you get there, you got to reassess. That's the one thing. You don't want to pick a goal weight and then say, I have to do it until I get to that number. When you get to a certain point, reassess. Reassess what you've been doing, how you've been getting there, how much you've lost, what kind of gains have you made, and reassess and decide. Because I could have easily said I want to get to 200 pounds. And then I get to 250 and I'm like, no, I actually am happy with my size. I just want to change my muscle, my body composition. If I change my body composition right now, and if I focus on body recomposition, I would probably go down to about 220 with a lot more muscle. But I'd be a lot thinner because of, I'd still weighing a lot, but it would be a lot slimmer because it was more muscle. I seriously thought you were in your 30s. I appreciate that. To me, some of my wins this year was finding or trying out new things thanks to you. I wouldn't have experienced things like Origami King or the 3D He-Man show without your recommendations. You don't have negative weight. I'm 195. See, Mike, I don't know if you've got like the runner's physique. I was never a fan of the runner's physique, right? The real slender. Like, I never thought that looked good on me. So I would like something a bit more, not bodybuilder, but definitely something a little wider. I think that's the best way to say it. Definitely something a little wider. And I don't ever want to look like I skip leg day. That's always been I've always had strong legs, so I don't ever want to lose so much leg muscle that I look like, I don't like that runner's physique. It's just not, I don't hate it, right? I don't see runners and I'm like, ew. I know what I think I look good in, and I don't think I would like my look like that. Stocky, impure. Stocky is a nice look for me. I think that I'm 5'9", so I think that stocky is a little bit of a better build for me than a runner's physique. It's one of the reasons why when I started working out, I focused mostly on weight training, because I knew that I wanted to strengthen my muscle and get more muscle mass instead of just losing weight. I knew that I wanted to do that. A question to that, because Johnny is doing this, are you looking to or willing to do a video detailing your progress up to this point, including daily regimes, food habits, etc.? Yes, I would be okay with doing that. Here's the problem. I'll open up with you guys right now. I'm gonna open up with you guys right now about something. Not a bad thing as in like I'm doing drugs. I'm not taking PEDs or anything like that. Performance enhancing drugs. Here's what I'm going to open up with. I would say that most nutritionists, dietitians, fitness experts would tell you that I went to an extreme. I think that a lot of people would say that I went to an extreme. I went from not really working out for a long time to working out 6 days a week, twice a day. A full workout at once, and then I was after dinner, I was going back to the gym for a half an hour on the treadmill. Nothing crazy. I was walking uphill. I was not running or anything. But I was working out 6 days a week, twice a day. I cut out all sugar for a while. I would say about 3 or 4 months, I was not having. I was having almost no sugar. I was intermittent fasting, and my workouts were at the tail end of my fast. So I was, and I still kind of am. But not as strict. My work stops at 10:45. My intermittent fasting range was my food window was 11 to 7. So right after work, I was supposed to be eating. That was when I was supposed to start eating. And so that was like the maximum of my fat burning, my ketosis, I think it's called. That's where that was, and that's where I was doing my workout. So I was working out without a lot of food and calories in me, and then my food window was up to 7 p.m. and then at before 7 p.m. I would eat dinner, and then I would go back to the gym and do a half an hour on the treadmill. My calorie intake, especially in the beginning, was usually 800 to 1,000, maybe 1,200. Most fitness experts and nutritionists and stuff would probably tell you that I was not being super careful with it. I never felt sick. That's the important thing. I never felt like I was doing something bad. I never felt like I was pushing my body further than I was supposed to. But most people would probably say that I was. But I can tell you, for me personally, it worked. And I was... Look up videos on weight loss. How fast you should lose weight. Look up videos on that. And you know what they're going to say? A pound a week. 2 pounds a week. Maybe 2 pounds a week is pushing it. For the first 2.5 months, for the very first week, I lost 17 pounds. I went from, it was a Tuesday. I stepped on the scale at the very beginning and it was 340.0. I stepped on the scale a week later and it was 323. Now, a lot of that's water weight. But for the next 2 months, I was losing about 6 pounds a week. Between 5 and 6 pounds a week. Most things online would tell you that was wrong. That was too fast. But I never felt sick. I never felt unhealthy. I never felt like I was pushing things too far. Eventually, I needed to ease up on it. And I think that's why I did it so intensely in the beginning, was because I knew that at some point I was going to ease up on it. And I wanted to make sure that by the time that came around, I had made significant progress. And I did. I made very good progress. So I would do a video on it, but that's sort of the problem, is that there isn't really a set thing. Like, there are set things that I was doing, but realistically, I wouldn't want to give anybody advice that gets them sick. I mean, my dinners, half the time, most of the time, were half a chicken breast. That's it. And not like, it wasn't even like a super strict, like, gotta lose weight, right? I can only eat half a chicken breast. I'll punish myself if I eat any more. A lot of it was just like, I'm lazy. I don't feel like cooking anything else. You know, I cooked some chicken. Maybe I'll throw it in a bowl with some baby spinach and oil. Sometimes I would make rice when I would make a lot of rice and then portion it out. But a lot of the times, I just didn't feel like doing it. So I'd take a piece of chicken, cut it lengthwise, right? So I had a full piece, but it was just this thin. Throw it in the toaster oven or the air fryer for a little while. Take it out, put seasoning on it, and eat it. And then that was my dinner. And then that right there was like 250, 300 calories. And then that was all I would eat. And it wasn't in this sort of, I have to do this. It was, this is really all I want. With the intermittent fasting, I was managing how much food my body even wanted to take in. So I never really felt sick. There were days where I felt a little, I would eat more. I would eat a whole chicken breast, or I would do the baby spinach or make some rice or something like that. So that's been my biggest worry, is that I would not want to give out a bunch of advice and then you all do it and then some of you get sick from it. I don't want you to think that I was being super strict. I was doing, maybe that's the best way to say it. I was doing what felt right for me. What I was doing never made me feel sick, and if it ever sort of did, I didn't do it. I never pushed myself crazy at the gym. I was not pushing crazy amounts of weight. I was not running super fast on the treadmill. I was walking uphill. I was lifting moderate amounts of weights at moderate speeds for moderate amounts of sets. When there were days where I felt like my body can't handle this, I toned it down. I didn't walk on such an incline. I slowed my walking pace. I lifted a little bit fewer weights, or I did fewer sets. I adjusted my workout to how I was feeling, but I made sure to do it. You get fitness people that'll tell you got to push yourself all the time. You got to be 100%. But then you look at some of these people, and some of these people, first of all, let's be honest here. Some of these people are taking things. And it's fine if they do it. If you want to take performance enhancing drugs or something, right? You want to get on a trend train or take any of those. You're totally fine. You can do whatever you want with your body. That's fine. But there are people that go out there, and the celebrities are the ones that do it. They hawk these fitness programs, and what they forget to tell you is that there are performance enhancing drugs that push it, that do that. You know, and you got people who don't take performance enhancing drugs. They just have good genetics. Their bodies are just designed that. We all know that person, right? Haven't we all known that person with the crazy high metabolism that can eat whatever they want and never gain any weight? We all know that person. When that person starts to lift weights, they're going to gain muscle in a way that we never could be able to do. Hold on, let me go back up. I just watched Athlete and X to find out what I'm doing wrong. Apparently everything. Jeff Cow. Oh my God, everything is killing your gains with him. Everything is killing your gains with him. You know who I watch? That's me. I'm that person. You know who I watch? He did an interview with Tim the Tap. He did a video about Tim the Tap Man, and I started watching him from there. Coach Greg Doucette. I watch him. Greg Doucette is somebody that I watch and I like. I find him entertaining. But you have to acknowledge that he is one of those people where his information is not all for you. His information, like a lot of these people, his information is for bodybuilding. And what a lot of people don't realize is that you don't need bodybuilding, you just need general fitness. It's great to have videos. I watch Sean Knowledge. Oh God, I don't know his name. Sean something. He does a lot of like bodybuilding and fitness stuff. You know, how to do the exercises, how to make sure you're doing them right. That's a lot of the stuff that I like. I like the stuff where Naljawani? Oh, God, I'm sorry. I apologize. He's never going to see this video, but I apologize if he ever says that. If he ever sees that. But I those are good videos to watch. Someone like Coach Greg is a very entertaining person to watch. He's got a lot of great information. A lot of great information comes from his channel. But it's important to understand that his goal that he's trying to point you towards is probably different than what most of us are aiming for. Most of us are aiming for weight loss. Most of us are aiming for general fitness, cardiovascular health. That is the goal. Don't look at these people with unbelievable genetics or a mountain of performance enhancing drugs and think that's the goal. That's not the goal. Get healthy. Watch what you eat. Watch your sugar intake. Watch your sugar intake is so big. I cannot believe how important watch your sugar intake was as far as how I felt. 2 days after I started doing all of this and I had no sugar in my system, 2 days later, the mind fog lifted and I felt immediately better. It was incredible. And that's people ask me like, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish you could try that out. I tell everybody, do it for like a week. Change your diet completely. Remove your sugar intake completely. Change the foods that you eat so that you're buying no sugar added foods. Do it for 1 week. And 2-3 days later, you're going to realize, holy crap, why do I feel so different? And it's because you cut the sugar out of your diet. It's so wild. Yeah, bodybuilding's not normal fitness. Hypertrophy is a side effect. I'm reminded of and hypertrophy is not bad. It's just, you know, it's big giant muscles isn't the goal. It's not supposed to be the goal. But for most people, especially if you're overweight, if you have an obesity issue, your goal is not to be a Mr. Olympia bodybuilder. Your goal is to lose the number to an extent and feel healthy when you do it. That's the real goal. It's shocking what foods have sugar added. Why does this sauce have like 1 million grams of sugar? Everyone got their snacks. And that being said, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have some snacks. Plot is that Sean is a regular in this chat. I'm reminded of the time I was taking strength conditioning classes. The instructor would always say that the biggest guys in the gym didn't work out correctly. They would work out just to look tough, but not be practically strong. And even then, I have no interest in being practically strong. If you ever look at those strongman competitions, those guys are not bodybuilders. They are practically strong, but they're not bodybuilders. They don't have giant rippling muscles. I want to be strong enough to live my day-to-day life. And here, you know what? Here's what I want to do. It is the probably the vainest, most arrogant thing. I just want to look good. I want to feel like I look good when I take my shirt off at the beach or the pool. That's it. That's what I want. When I wake up in the morning and I take my clothes off and I go to get changed and I see myself in the mirror, I want to stop and go, hey, all right, not bad. looking good, right? I stand in front of the mirror, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, that's good, right? Get a little flex in there. You feel good. That's all. I work out because I want to look good. Like, I want to be healthy. But as far as like the bodybuilding aspect, the muscle building, I do it because I want to feel like I look good. I don't do it because I want to look good for other people. I don't want to be on the beach and have people like, oh, check that guy out. I just want to take my shirt off at the beach and not feel like, oh, God, everybody's probably looking at me. And there are big guys that do it, right? Happy New Year, Marcos. There are big guys that do it. There are big guys that go to the beach and they go to the pool and they take their shirt off and they feel super confident and they're fine. And I appreciate it and I applaud them for it. I am not one of those people. For as long as I can remember, I have been the person that goes to the beach and goes to the pool and gets in with my t-shirt. Last year, I went to the beach at the beginning of the season, and I had only just started. I was probably only at the gym for a couple of months, and I still was like, I took my shirt off to lay down, to tan, and then when I went to get into the water, I put my shirt back on. By the end of the summer, I was taking my shirt off. Not because people were saying, oh, yeah, check that guy out. It was because I felt confident enough when I saw myself in the mirror to say, I feel like I can take my shirt off and not be embarrassed for myself. Some people don't have that, and I applaud them for it. I did. And I do. And I have that. So now I'm at a point where I don't feel that way. I feel like I can go to the beach and take my shirt off, and I'm okay. I got the gut. I still got the gut. The gut's gonna be the hardest thing to lose because I can't work the gut, right? You know what I mean? If I want to lose fat in my ass, I do some glute exercises and I can start to work some of that away, right? Build up my muscles back there, maybe burn some fat away and maybe look a bit better. I can't really do that because if I work out my abs, it just builds up my ab muscles and it pushes out my stomach more. Yeah, the spare tire is just not going to go anywhere. My love handles, they're not going to go anywhere. Not yet, not for a long time. But I don't worry about it. You know what I'm confident of right now? I'm very confident that I have a dad bod. I remember when I was bigger, people would say, oh, you got a dad bod. No, a dad bod is not 340 pounds. It's not. 340 pounds is clinically obese. It's clinically obese, is 340 pounds. I feel like I'm at dad bod territory right now, right? I got the muscle, got some muscle going on, right? Legs are looking good, but I got the gut. I got the spare tire. Good thing that Rising Around should be going nuts. I want a reason to go to the beach. Losing weight would be a reason. I love the beach, so I'll go to the beach no matter what. Hold on, let me go back up here. I'm sorry, I went on this tangent and then I wasn't reading comments. I would work out just so I don't live alone, surrounded by jars I can't open. I want more of the Bruce Lee. See, you want the thin, slender build. Yeah, see, I don't want that. I look small, but I'm toned as hell when I flex. I seen a video of a guy ripping his pecs showing off. Oh, yes, I don't want to do that. To me, I want to do 100 push-ups with no problem. That's my all. I mean, I think 100 push-ups in a row is like difficult even for people who are fit. My wife makes fun of me for looking at myself in the mirror, and Mike, I used to think that too. I used to see like bodybuilders. You see the footage of the bodybuilders in there in the mirror, and they're like, and I would think, oh, look at them, so cocky. You know what I realize? What I realize about when people do that, when bodybuilders do that, when fitness people do that. If I painted a painting, right? I get all the stuff. I put the canvas up, right? I Bob Ross it, make something really nice. Wouldn't I stand back and look at it and say, wow, I'm proud of myself for what I did? Why am I not allowed to do that with my body? You think bodybuilders worked out for 7 days and then they got all of that and something they shouldn't be proud of? They've been doing it for years. The real hardcore ones put in crazy amounts of time and effort. They do targeted exercises, targeted lifts to do specific things. They sculpt an amazing physique. Why shouldn't they be allowed to look in the mirror and go, yeah, look at what I did? Anybody here that is any kind of creative, if you make something, you are allowed to appreciate it. Don't be arrogant about it, right? Don't go showing it to everybody and like, look at what I did. Isn't it better than what everybody else did? Like, don't be a jerk. But you are allowed to look, if anything, you looking at it and appreciating and admiring what you did, that should be the only person that matters. You know, what if somebody said, well, I don't really look at myself in the mirror. I just do this because I want everybody else to look at it. It sounds arrogant, right? Doesn't it sound conceited? But if you do it because I want to feel good about myself and I like the way I look, yes, that's the only person you should care about is yourself. Why do we teach ourselves that the only person whose opinion matters is yours until it comes time to appreciate yourself, and then you're not supposed to do that? Yeah, pride in your work is good. Just don't get a massive ego over it. Absolutely. I made a combo video for Dragon Ball FighterZ, and I was proud of that, and I watched it multiple times. Yeah, absolutely. But then you see Terry Crews doing it casually, and you think, man, I kind of want to do that. Now it's more like 50. Oh, it's tough. The most I could do during my peak was 74 push-ups without stopping. I haven't actually tried to do that. I haven't actually tried to do like a push-up challenge. I wonder how I'll be able to do. I'll say when I get people have an issue with that, since you have those thinking being healthy is body. I mean, I won't get into the body shaming discussion. That's a tough discussion. I will not get into the body shaming discussion. I will say that whole body shaming, body positivity, body positivity is probably really what I'm thinking about. Like the whole body positivity movement has been sort of blurred and co-opted by another group of people, and I won't get into that. But yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. This all spawned from just talking about our W's for 2021. But yeah, I mean, and that's the biggest thing that I want is that I would like for other people to see it and say, oh, it's possible. Somebody said something to me the other day that I never really thought of. I was talking to her about just the weight loss and what I was doing and how much I lost. This is somebody at the Goodwill store that I would go to regularly. So this is somebody who watched as my body composition changed. I told her, we were talking about how much like actual pounds I lost, and she said something that I don't think I've had anybody say so far. You always hear stories about people who have done dramatic weight loss and done dramatic fitness turnarounds with their lives, but she never actually knew anybody that did it. And it occurred to me that that's probably true. Most people who you know who are fit were probably always fit. And unfortunately, most people who you know that are not fit are probably going to be that way for a long time, if not the rest of their lives. Hopefully, for some of you, will serve as an example of somebody who actually did it. Who, you know what I mean? Like, you always hear these stories about, well, I turned my health around and I lost a bunch of weight. Now I would hope that you've actually seen somebody who has done it. So now you can't say, well, it's probably not really possible. I did it. It didn't cost me money other than a $10 a month membership to Planet Fitness, which, by the way, I was, if you didn't see on Twitter, I was Planet Fitness. Oh, wait, I have it here. Hold on. Woo! I was Planet Fitness's member of the month. Here, you can screenshot that and read that later. I did it. It didn't cost me a lot of money. I didn't do any plans. A lot of people are like, did you do like Weight Watchers and stuff? No, I did no plans. I didn't spend any money on that. I am not eating specialty diet foods. I am not spending $50 a month at the gym. I didn't go and buy a bunch of specialized equipment. I bought some weights, and I barely ever use them because I go to the gym all the time. My food intake has been significantly less, which has actually saved me money. And I'm 43 years old. I feel like I feel like there's a good chance I have dashed every excuse that you may have. I fit it in between work and a streaming schedule. Because that's another big one is time. I feel like I have done it in a way that most people should be able to look at and say, there really isn't an excuse. Like any excuse I can come up with, this guy had and didn't do it. And I don't mean to sound, I hate saying that because it makes me sound like I'm being arrogant, but I'm that's my hope. My hope is that any excuse that you have for not getting yourself healthier, maybe you saw that I expressed and was able to overcome it. So I want you guys to do that too. That's the thing, is that I want everybody to, one thing I learned about fit people, about people who are hardcore gym users, gym goers, fitness experts, all of these people, one thing I learned about them is that they don't want it to be just them. I used to think that. I used to think that when you would go to the gym, like say you go to the gym, what do we have this idea of the gym, right? You have this idea of a bunch of muscular fit people standing around looking at the fat guy going, oh, what's that guy doing here? Oh my God, that's disgusting. We're letting those people in here now? What I've learned is that decent people, which most of them are really not. There are, of course, there's going to be some jerks, but most of them are, they're happy that guy is there. They're excited that guy is there. They want that person to succeed. They want that person to get better. When you go to a gym and you lift weights, if there's somebody looking at you, they're probably checking out your form. They probably want to talk to you. I've had people come up to me while I was lifting weights and want to talk to me about lifting weights. They want to figure out what kind of lift I'm doing. Have I ever tried this? Do I like this workout more than that workout? I've swapped exercise stories with people, like as far as different workouts and stuff. The fitness community I've always had this idea that they want to exist in a bubble, and the only ones that want to be healthy, and they don't want anybody else to be healthy, right? They want to laugh. If you're not already healthy, they're going to laugh you out of the gym. When really what they want to do is they want everybody to be fit. And the reason I learned that is because, and this is why I'm telling you, I feel, as far as my health goes, I feel better than I have probably ever felt in my life. And I want all of you to feel that way. It's the same reason I get on here and I stream. I stream playing games badly. I have these conversations. We do all of this stuff. It's not like I'm making $1 million doing this. But I do it because I find it entertaining for myself. And I like the idea of entertaining other people. I want other people to smile. I want other people to laugh. I want other people to feel good. I want when other people feel bad, I want them to have a place where they can come here and they can maybe try and feel a little bit better about life. When it comes to fitness, I want that for you too. I want you all to go to the gym, eat healthier. Maybe not go to the gym. If you don't want to go to the gym, you don't have to go to the gym, but work out at home. Go for walks. Go for runs. I want all of you to feel as good as I feel. Just like I want you all to feel as happy as I feel when I'm trying to make you laugh. And I realize that that's mostly what fitness people want. They want everybody else to feel good because they probably feel, as far as their health goes, they probably feel really good about themselves. So they want other people to feel that way too. Weightlifting is a big one for that. If you go to, I can't afford a weightlifting gym. The reality is I've looked into weightlifting gyms and they're like $40-$50 a month. I can't afford that. I would probably go to a weightlifting gym at this point. Like I would have Planet Fitness also because I like all the treadmills and stuff, all the cardio equipment. But I would go to a weightlifting gym because everything I've seen about weightlifting gyms, now that I know, they're actually very helpful. They want to be helpful. They want to pump each other up because they want everybody else to feel as good as they do. Hold on, what's Keith saying? I'm self-conscious about my body, so I just feel like everyone is secretly judging me. Kia, that's the whole thing about Planet Fitness. The whole thing about Planet Fitness, they have this the no judgment zone. That's what that is. Because they want you to realize that you can go there and work out and no one's judging you. But what I'm going to tell you is nobody was judging you before. And I'm not saying this because I'm telling you like just if you have anxiety, just stop being anxious. I know that it's a difficult thing to overcome. But the thing that I can tell you the best thing that I can tell you is that it is definitely all in your head. It is definitely you're noticing them more than they're noticing you. If you go to the gym, you get on a treadmill, you walk or you run. You're not obnoxious. You don't play loud music. You don't do stupid things. You follow the rules of the gym. You don't bother anybody else. If you do all of the things that you would do as a decent, normal person, you mostly go unnoticed. Why? Because they're at the gym working out. They're not there to look at you. And that's something that I had to start going to the gym regularly to notice. You know, I realize when I go to the gym, they're not watching me. They're not staring at me as I do the things that I'm doing, as I was a fat guy standing on the treadmill and a fat guy trying to pick up weights. They were not looking at me. I was there. I was doing my exercises. They were doing their exercises, and that's all it was. Later, Jeff. I'm sorry if you guys are leaving and I'm not noticing. I did notice one time somebody was looking at me. And it was a good one. It was a good looking at. I was doing deadlifts and I had, I don't know if you're supposed to say 3 or 6. I had like 300 pounds on the deadlift. I had 300 pounds. So the deadlift is the one where you, hey, Sleepy Bear. Deadlift is the one where you bend down and you pick the weight up, right? Here, hold on. You like bend down and you pick it up like that. So I put the plates on and I think this was one of the first times I had done it. I probably like the second time I'd done that. It's called deadlift. So I put the weights on there. So I have three 45 pounds on each side. Right, so I've got 6 45-pound plates on there with the bar, it's on the machine, so the bar isn't loose, so it was basically like 300 pounds. So I did my reps. I think I did 2 or 3. And I noticed the guy next to me looking at me. It was the first time I'd ever seen this. First time I'd ever had it happen. I noticed the guy looking at me. And, because it's like the big mirror. And I see him like he's in the middle of his set, so he's sitting there, and he looks, and I see him, and he goes like this, and I was so happy. I had to restrain a smile because I was so happy because I saw him, and he goes, I see him in the mirror, he goes, and I was like, yeah, buddy, you saw it. Do you ever feel crummy? Oh, if I don't take a nap if I take a nap that's not long enough or too long, I always wake up feeling like crap. I call every exercise upsy downsy just to drive my trainer up the wall. No, but a string, you gotta at least add the body part. Add the body part, like deadlifts. You got to call them back upsy downsies, because that's mostly a back and some leg workout. Hello, is it me you're looking for? But yeah, I went into that tangent on myself, and I wanted to talk to you guys about. I mean, you guys told me about some of your wins this year. Going back to the original topic, which was 2021. And you guys told me about some of your wins, and I'm really happy to see that you've got some big W's in your life that are related to the year. So hopefully you carry those wins with you, and you think back, and when you think back to 2020, people are like, "Oh, that year sucked," and you can, and for me, again talking about that, people could say, "Wow, 2020 was terrible," and I could say, "Yeah, I mean, overall it was kind of bad, but I got my health in check and lost a lot of weight. That's the thing that I'm taking with me." There is an actual topic. Yeah, the somber. It is the silver lining, because there was a topic and we left it way behind. But yeah, I don't know. I want you guys to feel good. I want you guys to look back on this year, and obviously there's going to be a lot of crap, but I also want you to realize that there was a lot of good stuff that maybe happened. Maybe it was more individual stuff. There was something else that I wanted to bring up. Oh, you know what? Let's viewer topics. If you have anything that you wanted to bring up, something, we'll do real quick. We won't get into too much. I wanted to talk about that top 100 games list thing, but that thing, I read over that thing again. I was like, my year wasn't. Yeah, it's key. I mean, obviously you're definitely going to have some ups and downs. Some people are going to have done worse. It went super. Yeah, this was the year. This was the year that went by so fast, and it felt like a billion things happened. In 2020, fighting game tourneys return. Rollback netcode. People are starting to realize that that's a great thing. Oh, and because it was right at the end, this is the year that I finally got into VR. Finally made the jump in. Anything I'm looking forward to in 2022? For me, all jokes aside, the Mario movie. Some gaming. I think there's some gaming stuff. Nothing really. I think just gaming in general. I think I want to try and make sure that in 2022 I game more. I tackle my backlog, which I'm afraid I don't even like using that word, but I do want to go and play some games that I haven't played. Yeah, I don't know that I have any things that I'm looking forward to. Specific games, I don't know if anything that I'm looking forward to. I don't think I have any life events coming up that are going to happen this year, right? It's not. I mean, I'm turning 44 in this upcoming year, so that's I get to go double digit year. That's a I don't know. That's a milestone I made up in my head. Oh, we got Chris Pratt announces Mario this year. Take that as good news or bad news. Oh, looking forward to Spider-Verse 2. I wouldn't mind. I'm back on the MCU train. I would like to see what's going to happen with Star Wars. So as far as media goes, I'm looking forward to seeing those two things. I feel like this year ignited, sort of last year really last year was really my Star Wars love. But my interest in Marvel reignited within the last couple of months. Fours are cursed numbers though. Sonic Movie 2, Sonic Frontiers, Gran Turismo 7, King of Fighters 15, DNF Duel, absolutely. Marvel's Wolverine. I'm hoping to be able to go to TMG next year and finally get to meet you in person and give you that long overdue hug. A long overdue social distance hug. Trios, you gotta watch Inside Job. There's a great thing where they hug, but she doesn't like hugs, so she does it from far away. She's like, yeah, that's something. Hopefully Final Fantasy 16, maybe Metroid Prime 4, maybe, I think we're supposed to get Bayonetta 3. But yeah, I don't know that there's anything upcoming that I'm definitely looking forward to. What about goals? Does anybody have any goals? Anything that they really want to try and actively, like, not something that you hope happens, something that you are going to try and actively accomplish? I would like to hit 3,000 followers on the channel, maybe more. Maybe a little more traffic on YouTube, but I don't know. I'm so unfocused on YouTube. I'm making sure that I graduate in May 2022. So I'm putting more effort into scheduling, time management, and sleeping for 6 to 8 hours. Wasn't the Final Fantasy VI re-release supposed to happen this year? Didn't it happen already? I know they announced it and they showed a bunch of stuff for it. I wasn't sure if it happened yet. Do something with my YouTube channel at long last. I want to enjoy the year. 2021 sucked ass due to work. My goal for next year is to get my own place. That is buy one for myself. Find the time to watch more of your streams. Work this year has kept me super busy. I appreciate that, Gorilla. Focus on what is most important, which is, making sure that you're able to afford your life. But I would love to have you for more streams. And I would love to have more people for more streams. Oh, it got pushed back to February. Okay. Get a job is my goal for 2022 and lose some weight. My goals are gain more confidence, try to start dating, and finish the Final Fantasy games I bought. My goal is improving my art. I can link you it, and I want to improve Twitch streaming. Wait, Twitch streaming with my YouTube? Or are you streaming on YouTube, or are you streaming on Twitch? Be more productive in my career, progress more in my spiritual beliefs, be more independent to myself. Pixel Remaster got pushed back to February. Okay. I haven't uploaded a video for 9 months. I mean, my videos on YouTube are just me. They're just Twitch streams. And I don't even do that as regularly as I should. I want to make a genuine effort to losing weight next year, practicing my drawing next year, and to establish my YouTube channel. A lot of social media, or content creation. I like to do a lot of content creation in here. The other one is to improve myself as a teacher. My son turns 18 in April. My goal is to start charging him rent. Mike, you can make the future now. I'm looking to getting into Final Fantasy VI again, and I've been looking forward to Rune Factory 5 for the past half decade. So next year is looking pretty okay. Silly as it is, my goal is to be happy and not let myself get bogged down when things go crazy. To manage your stress levels a little bit better. My goal is to move out of my parents' home, get a full-time job, and start streaming. Would love a job related to my career. Maybe will renew my lease, work on mental health, and feeling more comfortable being myself. Streaming on Twitch and making YouTube videos. Okay. 2 separate things. I deleted every video on my YouTube and only have a single clip on there now. I started posting some stories this year. I want to do more of that. You know what I want to do? What I think I want to do with the YouTube channel? I think I want to start making. I've said before that I want to start making more clips of the streams. I probably want to try and do a couple of YouTube shorts, which is their version of TikTok, but I don't like the idea of joining TikTok. So I feel like I might want to do something more with like YouTube shorts. So I don't know, maybe I'll focus a little bit more on that. Figure out how to even do that, because I don't know how to make it. Like all that TikTok stuff, I have no idea. I never had Snapchat. Like I never learned how to do any of those like short form videos, so maybe I'll learn how to do a little bit more of that. Oh, I wanted to ask if I could show off my art as I'm improving. Can I link? Yeah, you can link it right here if you want. If you wanna link something, that's fine. I'll allow that. I might also do some streaming again on Twitch. I like streaming, so I've as I hope you guys have seen, I do like streaming. My day was okay today, Kia. Here, let me, I'm going to click that link and I'm going to save it. I dislike TikTok and Snapchat. He's already paid for a back rent in the form of 18 years of indentured servitude. And well, Mike, now it's time to get him to start mowing the lawn. Okay, I think that is going to wrap it up for 2021. I think that's going to be it for our stream for today. Be more productive in my career, progress more in my spiritual beliefs, be more independent of myself. I was going to practice more of my graphic designs and maybe do commissions. Did anyone watch or read anything interesting recently? Hawkeye. Oh, Book of Boba Fett. I did watch Book of Boba Fett, which we talked a little bit about yesterday. I don't think we'll do a spoiler discussion for that. Maybe after the next episode. I think for Boba Fett, if we do any kind of spoiler discussion for Book of Boba Fett, I think it's going to be after the next episode, and we'll talk about the first 2 episodes. As someone who wants to be more involved in your community, what is the best way to do this? Discord. Oh, Jet, I owe you a Gonzalez suit. Hold on. Yes. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Oh, well, let me answer Gorilla first. As far as being more involved in the community, obviously Discord's a great way to do it. If you want to join the Discord, you can always talk to everybody there, hang out and stuff. I always say engaging on Twitter is good, because I do more on Twitter than anything else. Nameless, I owe you one too now. I owed Jet one. I owed Jet a Gonzalez suit. How about this, Nameless? Next time you're here, I'll give you the first one. Discord is a great way to do it. A good thing that we can do as far as community is we actually do community days on. I don't know if you can join that, but on Saturdays, we do community days, which we won't do tomorrow. We're not. Today's Friday. If you're watching this on YouTube, tomorrow Saturday we're not going to be doing community day. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Keep an eye on Twitter just in case. But community day is great. We always have a lot of fun with community day. We play, Mario Kart or Smash Brothers or Mario Party. So that's a great way to do it. I would say definitely join the Discord. Definitely join the Discord is a great way to interact with the other people in the community a lot better. Yeah, maybe we'll do a Mario Party New Year's stream. But last one for the year. Let's wrap up 2021 with a Gonzalez suit. Gonzalez suit, ore wa suyoi, ore hika arashiru wa pointo. Oh, last one for the year. Oh, good stuff. And that was for Jet. Jet redeemed that earlier, but I never threw it out there. Nameless. The next time you're here, you get a freebie. So I appreciate you very much. But that is going to do it for this year, for 2021. Before we go, I would like to say something. And I'm not going to get super emotional. I'm going to try not to get emotional. I always say this, but I want you to realize that I always mean it. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of the support that you guys have given over the past year and over the past 4 years. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know, especially with this last year and a half, 2 years. You guys know that I went through a lot of personal stuff in my life. Dealing with my relationship stuff that went on. My life situation has, unfortunately took a massive downturn, and I found myself without a constant support system. And while I don't mean to say that you guys are my support system, you all being here and it being such a great community has been a massive help for me. This has been this is a fantastic ride that we are on. Not even a ride that we have been on, that we are on. And I can't do this without you, because it's not the same without you. If I do this and you're not here, this is not the same. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't go the same direction. Chiru Cobra rating with a party of 1. Welcome. And it doesn't have the same vibe without all of you here. And the bottom line is that I don't know if you look at me and you say this is because of you, but I look at you and say this is because of you. This is what it is. It is such a positive influence on my life because you are all here to provide this for me. You offer a community that I am more than happy to be a part of. And I thank you so much for a great 2021, a great past 4 years. And I look forward to another 4 years. I want to do this as long as you guys want to be here. And so I appreciate that more than you will ever know. I'm sitting here saying it to you, and you still will not understand how important it is and how much I appreciate that everybody is here. Let me reading. I'm not gonna read them. I'm just going over the last. Well, I'm reading them, but I'm not gonna read them out loud. I'm just going over some of your comments here. Thank you for being an uncle that we always wanted. You're the one who made this community with your witty jokes and fun personality. Yeah, but the community isn't here if you don't show up and you don't stick around, and that's why it's so great. And I want to do so much more with you guys. I want to do more community day stuff. I want to expand community day. I want to play different games. I want to have better experiences, bigger experiences. I got VR now, so I would love to start once I get the VR stuff really going underway. I would love to start integrating that somehow. Maybe do community days and maybe host VR chat private rooms. Nothing lewd, but have some form. Like how great would it be to do like a silver lining in a VR forum? Yeah, I got an Oculus Quest 2. And I'm already kind of not hooked on it, but I already want to buy more stuff for it. But I want no lewds. But I want to do all of these things, and I want the channel to grow over the next year and over the years to come. And one of the reasons I want to do that is because I want you all to have fun. I want you all to be healthy and well and be entertained and enjoy what we have here. And I want you all to laugh and smile and be healthy. And I'm proud that I can try to be that place for you. So I thank you so much. Excuse me. Before we go, the usual, if you have not done so, please follow here. Please sub here if you're so inclined to do so. If you've got a Twitch Prime sub or a free $5 laying around. Sagers, come here, buddy. Come here. Where are you? No, come here. And if you want to click the links down below, go over to Twitter, follow me on there. Go over to YouTube, follow me on there. If you're watching this on YouTube, also do the same. Check the link. Follow me here on YouTube. Check the links down below. Follow me over on Twitter and on Twitch, where we have our schedule set up on Twitch, so you can see what times we stream exactly. But thank you all so much. Hold on, let me get my buttons ready here. One last time for this year. Thank you again. Don't forget to drink your mask, wear your water, social distance whenever possible. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I care about you all so much. Have a good one. Have a happy New Year's celebration. Have a safe New Year. And I will see you all. We will see you all in 2022.